Tables are really helpful if you have a lot of data. This can be helpful for students or teachers. In this example, I was collecting information about skills that were being taught in the 5th grade. And we took these readings from teachers in a number of schools in the 2016-17, 17-18, and 18-19 years. We didn't take it in 1920 because with the pandemic, it was just a little overwhelming. In this case, the students had a number of intended skills to learn. And when you look at this much data, it's really hard to make sense of it. This is where a pivot table is handy. So I'm in Google Sheets. I'm going to highlight all the rows and columns and go to Data and then Pivot Table. The pivot table is going to be created out of that data range I had pre-selected, or I could select it on the fly. And the pivot table is going to be in a new sheet. I'll click Create. Now, the next thing that we want to look at on the right-hand side is the pivot table editor. What rows do you want represented right here? So I'm going to add the first topic, basic computer operations, save file on a flash drive. So now it's taken that information and put it in the rows. What would I like my columns to represent? The year. So it's taken the year information. And finally, what do I want to do about the values? I want the values calculated based on that same row information, saving file on a flash drive. And what I can see is that in 2016-17, 22 individuals out of the 48, and I'm opening up the column. I'm going to click on the column head and format the text wrapping to wrap. So 22 individuals said all students mastered that skill. The following year, 23 out of 46 respondents said the same. And in 18-19, 21 said the same. So the pivot table begins to allow me to have discussions with people on things such as, is this still a valid skill? I didn't like the fact that it put the value calculation up here. So I would click in that area, and you notice the fill color is this 4th option in. I would just set the text to be the same color. Now, what I did was I would then copy and paste the table, and then in the next table, just delete out or select the next entry. So I'm going to delete basic computer operations and instead demonstrate the safe removal of a flash drive, delete out that basic computation, and add that I want it based on. And so while it's a little bit of work in order to move from one thing to the next, I have instant answers.